Chapter 804, Consultation. He might not use that name in Morora. I knew him before and saw him again yesterday when he came to the bar to duel with the owner. He has red hair. In Morora, anyone with red hair, no matter the shade, is trouble. Lumion described Albus Medici's appearance in detail. Chef Les nodded. I'll keep that in mind. Are you sure? Do you need me to sketch them for you? Lumion asked earnestly. He wasn't just asking Les, but also Julie, who was coming down the stairs slowly. He wanted to give the demoness something to focus on, hoping she'd be aware of Wanak and Albus Medici soon enough, letting trouble collide with trouble to see who was the bigger problem. Les shook his head slowly. No need. I'll remember them like different ingredients with distinct features. Different ingredients like a turkey. Lumion imagined Albus Medici looking like a turkey and laughed. He then handed Les 200 Sasson gold coins to restock the bar with meat and drinks. As he turned to leave the kitchen, he saw Julie reaching the bottom of the stairs. The demoness had changed into fresh, clean clothes, an elegant white blouse paired with an ankle-length green skirt, highlighting her gentle and graceful demeanor. Lumion suddenly recalled the sounds he heard last night, which contrasted sharply with Julie's current serene appearance. His mouth went dry. Damn it, this demoness is subtly using charm on me. It was normal to react, but this strong reaction wasn't right for an ascetic like Lumion. He looked at Julie and raised an eyebrow. Do you remember the second rule of the bar? Julie, looking more radiant than yesterday, seemed to glow with inner joy. Lumion felt an urge to rub his forehead. Hey gal, are you really not worried about exposing that Celeste visited you last night? Although you don't know that I witnessed you sprinting to Celeste yesterday and suffered a huge blow. Julie smiled gently. Don't harass the boss. You were charming me just now, Lumion stated flatly. Julie shrank back, feigning fear. What are you going to do to punish me? She acted scared, but her eyes sparkled with amusement, as if she was teasing Lumion. Lumion sighed, half genuine, half deliberate. First-time offense can be forgiven, but don't let it happen again or else. He didn't finish the sentence, leaving an ominous silence. Yes, boss, Julie beamed. She glanced at the door. The bar won't open until noon. Can I go out for a bit? Sure, Lumion teased. Planning to add to your collection? Do you have a morning exercise routine? No, Julie shook her head lightly. Just want to explore the city more. As she left the bar, Lumion immediately teleported ahead, transforming into a shadow creature to follow her. But Julie vanished. Invisibility, then wiped her tracks and did anti-divination. Lumion emerged from the shadows, frowning slightly. This meant what Julie was doing this morning was very important. She didn't want anyone to know. Also, having finally met her lover and found solace, she was more professional now, unlike her near breakdown last night. This was the normal behavior of a sequence 5 demoness of affliction. Lumion wasn't too disappointed. At least Julie now knew about Wanak and Albus Medici. Following the nearest path, he walked towards the cemetery but didn't dig any graves or sneak underground. Instead, he went straight into the library-like knowledge cathedral. Today, he was not merely tracking Julie. His main goal was to visit Archbishop Heriberg of Morora. The title of Morora's archbishop was Lumion's creation. After all, this puppet-like clergy member of the Church of Knowledge claimed to oversee all theological affairs in Morora. Lumion felt that since the Church of Knowledge had recommended him into Morora without confiscating his mystical items, direct inquiry about the underground mausoleum might be surprisingly effective rather than probing indirectly. This was also a test. Lumion wanted to see if the sealing information about 001 was given only to him or distributed to all eligible individuals. Did the Church of Knowledge place its bet solely on him, or did it hedge its bets across multiple candidates? Inside the radiant holy cathedral, Lumion found Heriberg, with his graying hair, kind eyes, and white robe with brass embroidery, standing by a brass bookshelf, quietly reading a thick book. Archbishop, Lumion called tentatively. Heriberg looked up and asked warmly, "What puzzles you?" Lumion chose his words carefully. If I want to enter the cemetery's underground section to find something, how can I avoid the dangers? Harriberg smiled and pointed to the brass bookshelf beside him. This one, and this one. Read them all thoroughly. Lumian followed his gesture, mentally noting the book titles. Mora Residence Code. Doll Crafting and Maintenance. Examples of Mausoleum Construction. Principles of Sealing. What use is this for a hunter like me? I'm not a reader who can wield knowledge directly. Does this mean that by absorbing the knowledge in these books, I can grasp the layout of the underground mausoleum, understand the sealing mechanisms, and find a way to leave my mark on 001? Lumian thought deeply as he withdrew his gaze. Harriberg continued, once you've read those, complete these test papers. You must score perfectly on each one. Lumian looked at the stack of test papers filling a shelf. His forehead twitched, recalling some unpleasant memories. He maintained a neutral expression, confirming, so, once I finish reading and acing these tests, I can avoid the underground dangers. Harriberg pointed to another brass bookshelf. That one, and that one. Master all the knowledge on those shelves, and you'll be well prepared. 3 shelves, Lumian's lips twitched slightly. That's about 200 or 300 books, plus thousands of test papers, right? Harriberg smiled and sighed. Remember, knowledge equals power, and knowledge equals wealth. All the answers you seek lie within. Lumian's expression shifted as he bit his lip and said, I'll start with these. He pulled out the initial books Harriberg pointed out. Harriberg nodded approvingly. A hunter who learns and pursues knowledge is the most powerful hunter. It's been years since another hunter came to me, willing to patiently read the designated books. The others, with red or thick hair, won't even step into the holy temple of knowledge, let alone approach these bookshelves. It's because Auror instilled a reading habit in me from a young age. Lumian thought, feeling a pang of sadness. He placed the books into his traveler's bag, bid farewell to Harriberg, and walked towards the Knowledge Cathedral's entrance. Along the way, he saw a familiar figure Gay, who had been exiled to Morora with him. The scholarly-looking Gay, now dressed in thick, cotton clothing, stood by a brass bookshelf, engrossed in a book by the light of the stained glass window. After a few seconds, Lumian walked over, smiling. What a coincidence! Why are you here reading? Gay smiled faintly. Didn't I tell you yesterday? I regret not knowing enough. Now, with such a vast library, how could I pass up the chance to learn? What brings you here? To ask if it's too late to convert to the god of knowledge and wisdom, Lumian joked, then changed the topic. Have you found a job yet? Not yet, Gay shook his head. I don't want to work on a farm or in a factory as some exile's slave. I'm planning to study for a while. Fortunately, I had some luck yesterday and earned some money, so I don't have to worry about going hungry. Lumian chatted with Gay for a bit before waving goodbye to the secretive serial killer and returning to the carnivore bar. He found a spot by the window and began reading the borrowed books in a comfortable position. Mora's sunlight alternated between bright and hidden by storm clouds, but it didn't affect Lumian's reading as he had his radiant fireball lamp. Near noon, Julie returned, her steps light, her face smiling, exuding a charm that even made Chef Les steal a few glances at her. Julie gave Lumian a curious look. You're reading. Not much else to do, Lumian replied casually. Julie had no interest in the books. She withdrew her gaze and went upstairs, likely looking for waitress attire. Lumian clicked his tongue silently. Really, knowledge is power, and knowledge is wealth. Aren't you curious about what I'm reading? Les approached and said, Boss, lunch is ready. Lumian nodded, put away the books, and stood up. He thought for a moment and said to Les, Find a red cloth and hang it at the door.